Pro League Stage 1 Division A is done, and the standings are finito. We have our playoff teams. They're Rise, Optic, Red Reserve, and TK. We also have our returning teams for Stage 2. It's going to be Echo Fox and Era Eternity. And then we have our relegation teams, Mind Freak and Vitality. We learned a lot about these 8 teams the past month, so tell me what your biggest takeaway is from Stage 1 Division A. Benson, we're going to be starting off with you because you won last week.
Thanks, Rich. I think it's all too easy to say, Rise, best team in the game, they look fantastic. Instead, I'm going to take a little bit of a different route with this one. Bitterly disappointed with how some of the international teams have done. Mind Freak, of course, Vitality. Moving away as well from Division A, you also look at Division B with Epsilon. Like, Europe as a whole, outside of Red Reserve, maybe Splice, of course, they were a little unfortunate with their circumstances, of course, from their first week of playing. I've just been so disappointed. I expected so much more. It may as well be the North American League at this point, right? Like, the European teams, outside of the ones, of course, I've just named, haven't stepped up. Mind Freak showed absolute brilliance at times, but where was the consistency? Non-existent. Vitality, I mean, they just didn't adapt at all. It was painful to see the same vetoes come through week in, week out, not changing up stuff, not willing to try anything new. As a European myself, I was really disappointed, Rich.
All right, yeah, definitely can understand that. Maven, what was your biggest takeaway?
I actually want to touch on what he just said a little bit because I tend to agree with you on some of that. I just casted the finals there in Canada, a lot of top North American amateur teams, and I think I saw 3 teams. And like Gone Gaming, you had GGEA Orange, you had Complexity, all teams not in the Pro League that all look better to me than your Epsilons, your Vitalities, hell, maybe even Mind Freak. So I get where you're coming from, Ben, but for me, honestly, biggest takeaway from Division A, I think I was right. Teams have caught up to Team Caliber, and this isn't the rub it in the wound anymore than I already did with that rant, but you know, they had lost 3 series before I made that comment. They lost 4 right after that and went to 2 Game 5s against the likes of like Era and Vitality. I think you definitely seen these teams have some glaring weaknesses for Team Caliber. They need to improve. They may not be in championship form right now, and I don't think anyone in the world outside of maybe those TK players can argue that teams haven't caught up.
Hashtag Maven curse, right? That's what it is.
If I could tweet that one more time.
The one thing I do want to touch on as well, real brief, is obviously I mentioned the teams that are in relegation, how bitterly disappointed I've been with them. My question is, do you see them getting out of relegation? That's what hurts the most. Epsilon, not a chance in hell. Vitality, no way, Jose. Mind Freak, maybe. Maybe, depending on the teams they have to play. But as a whole, for international teams, I don't know how many of those teams in relegation we're going to see back again.
I feel you, Ben.